Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern Ned Reynolds, back in the studio later this week. U.S. Open starts in the United States. Ned, who do you have your money on this time
This
around?
is the Nations Golf Championship, so you have to go with Scottie Scheffler, number one golfer in the world right now and red hot. They are playing at Oakmont in Pittsburgh, which is the 9th time this Open's been played there. It's a very, very tough golf course, very tough. And it'll take an outstanding round of golf, or 4 rounds of golf, to win this thing. 156 players. Most of the touring pros have automatic exemptions. Not all of them, but most of them. Those who don't have to qualify, along with anybody else in the country who wants to play. Now, the Open qualifying is pretty rough. You've got to have a certain score, and you have to have a handicap. Well, you have to be a scratch golfer. But the fact is that there are some names in the tournament who you would not recognize because they did solve that qualifying. But it'll be fun. All tees off on Thursday. Scheffler, of course, will be, without question, he will be the top seed and the top player in this one.
How many times in the history of the U.S. Open has a guy that just walked on, qualified, won the thing?
I don't think ever.
It's never happened before?
Well, I can't say never, because back in the old days when this occurred, there could have been an amateur golfer. Amateur golf back in the 20s and 30s and 40s was really, really big and strong, and it could have been one of them who, I must admit, I don't know, but the fact is, it's usually one of the top, the touring pros, because that's what they do for a living.
Yeah, of course. Well, you never know. I mean, if there's a guy that lives outside of Oakmont and that's the only course he plays, he knows that thing like the back of his hand, and then jumps on, qualifies, and wins the thing because of familiarity.
Mike, if that's the only course he played, he's pretty wealthy, let me tell you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's people over there. All right. It looks like the Florida Panthers might be walking away with this thing after last night's game.
They are the champions, and they're pretty doggone good. Florida just walloped the Edmonton Oilers 6-1, goal after goal after goal. Edmonton played tough, but the Oilers don't appear to me to be in the same league as Florida. I don't think any other teams are. The Florida Panthers win it. They now lead that series 2-1. They're playing Game 3 coming up in Sunrise. Sunrise, Florida is just outside Miami. Have a beautiful arena there. They seat, almost 20,000. And it's a good, you don't think of hockey being in South Florida, but it is there, and the Stanley Cup champs are there.
7 of the 8 college baseball World Series finalists were confirmed over the weekend. Now we know what team number 8's going to be.
Number 8 was played last night, and number 8, folks, is the Missouri Valley Conference champions, Murray State. They are going to the College World Series. They beat Duke in Durham, North Carolina last night 5-4, after beating Duke on Sunday night 18-2. This is not a fluke. Murray State is very, very good. They're a solid baseball team. Beat the Bears twice this year and beat them substantially. So you have to give your nod to the Murray State Racers. First appearance ever in the College World Series. They're going to Omaha, and on Saturday they will play UCLA in the first round. So it'll be a lot of fun. UCLA has the big name. Hey, Murray State is pretty doggone good. Don't sell them short.
Just like I said, sometimes it's just a guy walks right onto the scene and takes care of business. Is it just me, or the Cardinals played a lot of extra inning games this season?
And they have. They've had their share of them.
I feel like they've had a lot of extra inning games this year.
A lot of that has to do, I think, with the fact that the Cardinals do have pretty good relief corps and some pretty good pitching. The pitching has come through better from what most people thought it was going to be. And the offense has been a little sporadic, a little inconsistent, but it's gotten them into extra frames. Last night was one of them. This game was all Toronto until the 8th inning. Toronto led 3-0. Here come the Cardinals. They have a penchant for these storybook finishes, and Ivan Herrera hits a 3-run homer in the last of the 8th inning. 4 runs. The Cardinals played them all. 4 runs. Lead 4-3. All 4 runs coming in the last of the 8th inning. Cardinals lead the Blue Jays 4-3. Ryan Helsley in from the bullpen. A guy named Jonathan Clase. He plays center field for the Toronto Blue Jays. Apparently, I guess, timed his swing against one of those 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and clocked it. Home run, ties the game 4-4. They go to the 10th inning. Of course, the ghost runner's on second base. Blue Jays score that ghost runner on a double and indeed win the game. Cardinals had their chances in the 10th inning but couldn't capitalize. 5-4, Toronto gets the first game in this 3-game series.
And the Kansas City Royals had yesterday off. They're going to need every bit of rest they got yesterday facing off with the Yankees and Kauffman this week.
Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees take the field, and the Royals, this is a challenge for Kansas City. They play the New York Yankees. It'll be tough. Springfield Cardinals are home. They're taking on the Tulsa Drillers in the start of a 6-game series. That is tonight. Looks like we may have some pretty fair, more summer-like weather for the games down here. We need that bad. Everything needs to dry out. Anyway, the fact of the matter remains that the Tulsa Drillers will take on the Springfield Cardinals in Hammons Field starting tonight.
Well, this Sunday we've got a hell of a race going on when it comes to NASCAR.
Well, this one is unique in a lot of respects because it's only the third time. NASCAR's been around for 77 years. It's only the third time in the 77 years that an official points race will be run outside the United States. Only the third time. The 2 previous times have been in Canada. Okay, that's outside the United States. This one is in Mexico City. That's where they're going to go to the green flag in Mexico City. They have a huge speedway in Mexico City itself, and the race will be held down there. It is an official points race. All the big NASCAR drivers will be there. Interesting to see. This is a test by NASCAR to see how much the American stock car racing takes hold in Mexico, because international racing, Formula One, is big, and that's the type of track that they're running on down there. A Formula One track. Indianapolis is that, and some of the other speedways are that in this country as well. But that's their big race in Mexico. Let's see how NASCAR does, and that'll be this Sunday.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure, Ned. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.